Hey everyone, welcome back. I have a reading for you. So there's been an energy. Oh, well, first of all, happy 2026. I don't super count 2026 just yet until the Chinese New Year, and then it feels kind of all-encompassing, and the dust has settled from January and all of that. But there has been an energy of the soul is stirring. Monday I woke up, today's Wednesday, Monday I woke up and there was a very heavy need to watch Legends of the Fall. For those of you who haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's really good. It's emotional and deep, so yeah, prepare yourselves. If that's not the mood that you're in, then watch it at a different time. But oh my god, where was I going with this? Right, the soul stirring Legends of the Fall. So a couple things in that movie, it makes sense that we're popping up because the story of Tristan and Isolde has been coming up, so it makes sense. One of the reasons why I would want to watch that movie is because one of the brothers in that movie is named Tristan, and in fact they bring up the story at the dinner table of Tristan and Isolde. So I'm assuming that's why, because it makes sense with his mother being, I think his mother's British, his parents are British, that he was named after, I guess, that story. There's different versions of that story. I prefer the Welsh Celtic version. I like that one better than the romantic kind of French, I think French-British version or something like that. Is like a different type of story. Check it out if you're interested. So Spirit talks to me and relates to me through movies and through names, especially first names and last names. So the name Tristan is noise, clanking sword, and tumult, as in like tumultuous, which makes sense in the movie why he was called that or named that, and kind of the energy that I've been feeling. And during hibernation, during a settling, which is what January really is about, is like the dust settling. The soul is in hibernation. So I thought that I would pull from the Shaman's Oracle, and in this time that maybe the people around you, the saying, don't poke the sleeping bear, or let sleeping dogs lie, is pretty prevalent right now, because the soul is stirring and there's an awakening happening. There's a transformation happening, and you are on the precipice of the wildness of your soul to wake up. And I don't mean the crown waking up or crown being open or the third eye opening, although that's happening now. The soul is something else that's an adventure. It's a completely different reality once that happens. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the cards. I have to pace myself for this. Okay. So the first card that came out is Ancestor of Guidance. Okay. The second one was the Ancestor of Memory. And then the third one was the Shaman of Foresight. So I'm getting still familiar with these cards because they are pretty deep and profound, I find. So I'm going to read just a little bit to you because pretty much what I was saying is what these cards are clarifying. So the tribe of ancestors, right, which is the ones with the symbol of the antlers, and we have 2 of those. So that clarifies that you're in the cave, right? The sleeping bear, the sleeping dog. It's the cave of earth. It's like your ancestors are helping you in this time of your death and rebirth and your awakening of your crown and your third eye. I will read to you just a couple of so the Ancestor of Guidance, right? And a lot of people, even with the stag on here, that's one of the first things that you see on your awakening is when a deer pops up out of nowhere. It can be one of the animals that pops up. So yeah, the Ancestor of Guidance is profound wisdom. Maybe you're a wizard. Profound wisdom, direction, aspiration, seeking new ways, right? Going through that rebirth, and realizations and echoes of ancient paths. And yeah, that's right. And then the Ancestor of Memory is the remembrance of those that you love. So ancestors we're talking about, so those that have passed on, that are on the other side of the veil, that are helping you, and even down the generational line. There is a restoration of broken things. That could be broken things within yourself. That could be a broken way of looking at things when your third eye opens up and your crown opens up and you're receiving messages and downloading those. It helps to fix your vision and your perspective and even your beliefs and morals because of the way that one or you, if it's resonating, would have lived when you're sleeping. There's a lot more realizations that come out about really what the world is, and that there's more than meets the eye. You know, such as everything behind the veil and everything that we're taught to know and to believe. Seeing beyond the false aspects of life, exactly. And understanding the importance of history, so understanding the ancestors, understanding where you come from in your bloodline. Yeah, those memories might be downloaded, right? So the Shaman of Foresight, and so in this book with the ancestors, that's the Cave of Earth, and then with the shamans are the Cave of Winds. So winds are change and transformation, right? Beginnings, unrealized possibilities, transcendence, right? Newness, and then change, abundance, and then discovering your potential. And not just discovering your potential, but like standing in your power and taking your potential and actually doing it, right? Embodying it, letting it grow and flourish. So the shaman of foresight is being watchful and looking ahead, interpreting signs. So yeah, the being watchful, shaman of foresight, the being watchful. My eye's been twitching for the last couple of days. So with eye twitches, that is a sign of stress, but it can also be a sign when you're going through an awakening of the being watchful, the seeing the quiet and the silence inside as the soul is sleeping and turning over, that the things that you're downloading, the things that you're seeing are so different in that awakening that you're holding everything in, you're keeping it in, you're processing. And so there's a type of third eye heaviness that goes with that, right? And the changing of your beliefs and how you see the world, and integrating that into your system, like rewiring your brain. Transcending the moment, looking ahead, interpreting signs, like I said, and then acting intentionally and not just in a sleeping robotic mode and going through the motions, right? Now you're thinking ahead and you're making intentional movements towards your purpose. You're listening to your instincts, to that inner voice, and you're paying attention to your dreams and your visions. So that was really beautiful and amazing. There was a massive underlying, it's one of the biggest underlying energies I've ever seen. There's a lot here, but I think it's important, and it just clarifies even more so. So the first one was companion. Okay, and the companion, it says, so the companion is like the important and powerful ally of the seeker, right? So that would be you, if this is resonating. So they'll act as a spiritual guide and a supporter, and will offer unconditional help wherever you need it. So, without going too deep, I think you get the point. But again, that companion is part of your ancestors. It's part of the people that will help you on that journey. The people that, and that can be anybody, right? That could be, you could be researching, like, you know, tarot readers. It could be like life coaches. It could be books that you're reading. The companion of your ancestors and the people that are helping you on the other side, and even in your life in general. I mean, hell, it could even be your dog, right? Man's best friend. If you're paying attention and you're awake to the signs and the things around you, you'll be more in tune with the emotions and that's not the word I'm looking for. I want to call them like micro movements, or like movements, like within people and within things, like, you know, super deep, like, again, with like Legends of the Fall. And then it even makes me think of Yellowstone. If you watch Yellowstone, Casey, there's the point where he has to go within himself, and he has to separate himself, and he circles himself off, and he fasts and doesn't eat, because he needs to call the ancestors in, and he needs to find what his soul is trying to tell him, what move he wants to make, what direction he wants to go in his life and for his future, for himself and for his family, and what's right for that. And so you may be looking at that in this time, right? So you're not alone. You definitely have guides. And then moving forward with this shaman of foresight, there was the hunter of abundance, right? Moving towards your abundance, moving towards, you know, stepping into your power and making your potential abundant and living the life that you want. You're going through that spirit of healing, right? That's the process that you're in right now. And you have your hand open, right? When you have your hands closed and you're holding tightly onto things, you can't receive what God wants to give you. You can't receive what Spirit in the universe has for you if you're holding on too tightly. You are protected. The answers are protecting you in this time. You're becoming someone who is honorable. You're a hunter of honor. Integrity. Moving toward family. And that's family that you make. Friends can be family. Your bloodline, the ancestors are watching over you, those families, the people that came before you. And it's giving you strength to proceed and to go for what you want, right? So major clarification, so which is really, really good. But I want to get into this more. So I want to know about the ancestor of guidance. Maybe what they're guiding you on. I'm doing the tarot of the divine. It is stories and myths, and I thought it was really poignant. It goes with it. So what can you tell me about this ancestor of guidance and the sleeping bear? Yeah, the Ace of Swords. Your sword is up right now, right? Don't poke the sleeping bear. Let sleeping dogs lie. So you might notice that there's people around you right now that are trying to jab at you, trying to get a reaction out of you, and you're not having it. You've got your boundaries up. You've got your short words. You could be like very heavy-witted right now, meaning that like if someone you know, tries to get a reaction out of you, or you don't need to say like long sentences. It's one word, it's two words, and it shuts it down right away. You're creating a barrier with the knots in the background and how everything is tied off, right? So you could be tying off loose ends. What else can you tell me about the ancestor of guidance? Oh my God, I'm having a problem shuffling. Wow, okay. Okay, we'll not take those. We'll take that one. The Ace of Cups. I heard celebration. You're pouring into your own cup. And you should be celebrating. And I don't mean celebrating in a way of, you know, going out and like doing all these things and like, I'm not talking about that kind of celebration. I'm talking about the inner celebration. Being proud of the work that you've done. Enjoying and honoring the feelings of pride, not bad pride or negative pride or egoic pride. I'm talking about the pride of who you are as a person. You should take pride in who you are as a person. You should take pride in where you come from, the lessons that you've learned and overcome. the challenges that God gives you and places in front of you, so that you can overcome them and, you know, become the person that He wants you to be, that He knows that you can be, that you're meant to be. So yeah, be proud of yourself, and hold that celebration inside of yourself. And if you can, you know, even celebrate, whether it's, you know, buy your favorite snack or do the thing that you like to do in solitude, in silence, and just what's the word I'm looking for? You know how, okay, so you know how, like, when you are raising a child, for those who have kids, that you teach them the value of doing something without getting something in return, because it's the right thing to do, and it's the welling of pride and happiness within the self, and not, like, for instance, like when a kid goes and like on a sports team, right? And a kid goes to the sports team, and at the end they get a trophy of participation. Like, you could just teach the child that, like, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you should be happy and prideful that you showed up every day, that you did your best every day, and that you participated every day, and then that should be enough. You don't need a trophy for that, right? Some people might like that, some people not, but that's my opinion. What can I get for the ancestor of wisdom or memory? So what are you remembering on this journey? What is it with the memories of your bloodline? What are you learning? What are you getting rid of? Because they could maybe negative even. The Three of Wands. It's fire energy. You're burning away the old, and then you're forging the new in the fire. Yeah, like you're heading up the ladder. I heard higher wisdom. And it is. It's like the same thing when you trek up the mountain, right? Same sort of thing. You need fire, you know, in your gut. You need to burn through all the old. You need to burn away all the crap. And then you need to turn that fire over and alchemize it into a creative fire. And there's a lot of, like, red in this, right? With, again, in the sun sets and the sun rises, right? Sun setting, right? Going into that slumber mode, going into that silence mode, going into that the dreams and the visions. And then when the sun comes up, you're ready to go, right? The big fireball in the sky. And she's not just going up the ladder, she's reaching. And you don't have to be a female, you could be a male. Put yourself where you belong. What else can you tell me about the ancestor of memory? Yeah, and even with this, I don't know what this is. It's like a new or what was the other one I was thinking of? I just had it in my head. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. The how the head and like is like extended over the sun. So like you're expanding your mind, you're expanding your visions, you're expanding, you're opening up to, that's interesting. So I'm seeing like a skull like open up and expand and then crack and break into places, right? And then you forge that back together. Yeah, awakenings are they're not fun. So like with the memories, like you could be going through and burning. The element of fire is a really good tool to burn away old memories and traumatic memories that plague you in dark dreams or bad dreams, or change your, like how you move through the world because of the trauma, right? You're burning that away so it no longer bothers you. You're burning it away so that you can step outside yourself with that breaking of the skull, right? And then when you put that back together, you won't have the same reaction to it. You won't have, it won't like bother you. You'll just see it as like, it won't even come up as much anymore. It'll start to fade more and more, much like a scar, right? It's good. Okay, what else can you tell me, please, about the ancestor of memory? The sun wanted to come out. I'm not going to take it, but the sun wants to come out. You're heading towards the sun, stepping into your power, searching for the light, staying in the light. Again, fire. The world came out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still seeing that, the skull expanding. Your world is expanding. God wants to give you the world. You deserve it. If you're doing the work, you're putting in the effort, you're taking your aligned action, you're realizing your purpose, you know what you want, you're going for it, you're gonna get it. And again, with the gourds and the abundance, right? You're remembering who you truly are. You're remembering what you wanted before, you know, the world beat you down, before everything went sideways. You're remembering what your dreams were, in the sense of when you were little, like what is it that you really wanted? What is it that brought you joy? What is it that you said to yourself that when I get older, that's what I want to do, or when I get older, I want to have that, or when I get older, I want my life to look like this, and I want these sorts of things. And God wants to give you those things, and you will have them. Okay, what can I get for the Shaman of Foresight? So that's your visions, your dreams, which is what we're moving into, interpretations. And I feel like with this hand, not only is this hand like putting its hand up as in like stopping anybody who's trying to come at you. Again, don't touch the sleeping bear, like don't poke the bear, don't wake the sleeping dog, but also the hand being in the light, right? God has his hand on you. Your ancestors have their hands on you. In the silence, in the solitude, when you are alone during this transformation, before your soul fully wakes up, in that moment of pride, in that moment of reflection, in that moment of grounding your dreams, pay attention to your shoulders, pay attention to your head, even like your knees, right? There may be a hand that touches you. Just know that, your loved ones are there. They're helping you, they're reassuring you. Especially in moments of release, right? Crying or just frustration even, anger even, because healthy anger is important. What can you give me for Shaman of Foresight? And shamans are, they come up as animals as well. So you may resonate with bears, you may resonate with dogs, you may resonate with deers or these other types of animals. Okay, I'm going to take these. So the first one that popped up was the Queen of Swords, right? So again, with this Ace of Swords, this truth, this communication, the truth of yourself, the truth that you are relaying to the people around you, the truth that they're seeing about you, is coming out. And with this Queen of Swords, yeah, she has her sword up. So again, it doesn't have to be male or female. Put yourself where you belong. There's no gender in tarot, but if you are a female watching, when it comes to mama bears, female bears take care of their cubs and they keep them away from the males, right? They do everything. They're the hunters, they're the foragers. So you may resonate with being a single mom or a single parent. And in this time of your fierceness, and it doesn't mean, I'm getting that it doesn't mean that you can't be soft at this time and gentle at this time, because that's the duality of a mama bear, right? She has to do both sides. She has to do both energies. She's everything, right? And I feel like that's where you are right now. You're preparing and you're taking action, being truthful with yourself, being truthful with others. And then the other two popped up are the Four of Swords, again with the dog or the wolf energy. People may see you in a restful, silent mode and may think that that's I don't know if you heard that. I have a R2D2 Tamagotchi that my kid has. We don't want him to be kidnapped by the desert people. Okay, so saved. So the Four of Swords. People may think that because you're being silent, because you're not having reactions, that you are in a weak mode, in a soft mode, and that's not true. And so they may think that that's the time to poke at you, like I said, and attack you. But you are armed. And then the Queen of Coins came out. So you might be working on your finances, and she's stepping over the snake She has her foot on the tree, right? Yeah, so she has the foot on the tree root. Yeah, like the tree of life, the roots of your ancestors and your bloodline. You're rooted and you're grounded. You're stepping over the snake. You're not dealing with the temptation. You're strong. Moving forward, you're headed in the right direction, and you have that foresight, right? Shaman of foresight. You see what's going on now because you have reached that point where your soul is silent and you've retreated in back to into yourself, and then the people are looking at you. They're trying to poke you. They're trying to like react to you, like trying to get you to react and whatever. And you're sitting on the inside and you're just looking at these people and you're seeing everything for what it is. You're seeing who they really are and what you've been blinded to by this whole time. And maybe even, you know, if you are a spiritually gifted person in general, you've always known this deep down, but now it's at the forefront. Now you have that power and you're standing in it, and you're just watching the world around you like a movie, right? Like a show. And, you know, you're seeing how people really react and how ridiculous it is. And I mean, let's be honest, like she's smiling, right? Because she's reached that point, but at the same time, and she's glowing and it kind of looks like white holy fire even. But I'm pretty sure you're probably having a few chuckles, right? Because you see everything for really what it is now, and it's just like, it's laughable, right? Some people are seriously laughable. Gosh, I don't even know where to go from that. You know what? I think we'll leave it there. It's pretty deep, it's pretty profound. We're already at 37, so yeah. The wild nature of your soul has been in hibernation, and you are turning it over. And I really feel like when the Chinese New Year hits, when February hits, it's gonna wake up. People are gonna hear you roar. People are gonna hear the thundering of your steps. Yeah, and with the horse, even the galloping, right? You're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And people better get it out of your way. I hope that everybody is doing okay. Honor your feelings, honor your emotions, take the time to heal and rest, because now is the time, because things are about to heat up really fast and move forward really fast. And it's gonna get good. I hope everybody has a really good day. Peace. Take care of yourself.